wanted to speak today in support of a trans-inclusive ban on conversion practices to represent the views of the 287 people in the City of Durham who have signed this petition. The Ban Conversion Therapy Coalition defines conversion practices as those directed towards a person on the basis of their sexual orientation or gender identity and for the purpose of changing or suppressing the sexual orientation or gender identity of the person. Proposals to ban gender conversion practices wouldn't affect legitimate clinical practices which are outcome neutral, nor would it outlaw explorative therapies or discussions or limit religious beliefs or private prayer. And the main reason I oppose conversion practices in all forms is because they are both harmful and do not work. Not only has a UN report found that conversion practices can amount to torture, the UK government has stated that there is no justification for these coercive and abhorrent practices, and the evidence is clear that it does not work. It does not change a person from being LGBT and can cause long-lasting damage to those who go through it, and I couldn't agree more. And there's clear consensus on this across the medical community, with all leading medical, psychological and therapy organisations, including the Royal Colleges of GPs and Psychiatrists, backing the trans-inclusive ban. And last but not least, conversion practices are centred around the belief that certain gender identities or sexualities are the worst possible outcome for that person. There's acceptance that it's wrong to try and convert someone from their sexuality because we believe that no one sexuality is more normal or moral than any other. So why shouldn't it be the same when it comes to gender identity? And before I finish, I want to touch on the flawed concept of consent. This morning I was in contact with Action for Trans Health Durham. They asked me to stress that there are countless avenues for someone to coerce a trans person into undertaking conversion therapy. This could be through the withdrawal of financial support, or access to loved ones, or by being deprived of accommodation. The fact that trans people are also more likely to suffer from poor mental health and homelessness makes them more vulnerable to exploitation. And even if we set aside the fact that these practices should be banned outright due to the harm they cause, the fact that we can never be certain that anyone is actually undergoing such practices willingly means that we must reject any consent loophole. I support a trans-inclusive ban on conversion therapy and to trans people and non-binary people because allowing such practices to exist not only puts people at risk of harm, it would also legitimise the idea that being trans is wrong, something I completely reject. And I hope that one day basic rights for trans people will no longer be the subject of debate. Trans people shouldn't be used as a political football. This government could show that it is on the side of the LGBT community by banning these practices, but it refuses. Instead, it would rather light up buildings with rainbows than make any meaningful change. So let me be absolutely clear, there is no LGB without the T. And I will always stand in solidarity with the LGBT community and their right to be who they are, the right to love whoever they love, and the right to exist. Thank you.